In the heart of the Arctic lies a land where ice dominates almost everything you see. Greenland is one of the most extreme environments on the planet, a world shaped by harsh temperatures, biting winds, and vast expanses of ice that seem endless. Here, life is neither abundant nor easy. It is rare, resistant, and constantly put to the test. Surviving in Greenland means facing one of the toughest tests imposed by nature. In this icy territory, the cold is not just a challenge, but a force that defines who lives and who disappears. The cycle of the seasons is short and relentless. For long months, darkness covers the landscape, and ice advances over land and sea. When summer finally arrives, it brings a brief window of opportunity in which each animal needs to act fast to feed, reproduce, and prepare for the return of winter. In this documentary, we will follow some of the most extraordinary creatures of this frozen world. The polar bear, the largest land predator on the planet, dominates the sea ice, relying on the hunting it needs to survive in an environment where error can be fatal. The muskox, a true survivor of the Ice Age, faces extreme winds and sub-zero temperatures thanks to the strength of the group and an incomparable coat. In the icy seas surrounding Greenland, the humpback whale crosses great distances in search of food, taking advantage of the seasonal abundance of these cold, nutrient-rich waters. Along the coast, the walrus represents the endurance of large marine mammals, using their prey and their strength to survive on unstable ice shelves. And in the Arctic skies, the snowy owl silently watches the tundra, camouflaged in the white landscape, waiting for the right moment to strike. Each of these species carries unique adaptations, shaped by thousands of years of evolution in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Wild Greenland is a place where there is no room for wasting energy. Every move, every decision, and every survival strategy needs to be precise. Here, nature does not offer second chances. Life persists only because it has found extraordinary ways to resist cold, hunger, and isolation. This is an invitation to explore a world where the struggle for life happens daily, far from comfort and predictability. A place where the ice dictates the rules and only the most prepared remain. Welcome to Wild Greenland, where survival is a constant achievement on an ice planet. The polar bear is the absolute ruler of wild Greenland and the largest land predator on the planet. In a world dominated by sea ice, it depends almost entirely on this environment to survive. Unlike other bears, the polar bear does not belong to dry land, but to ice. It is there that he hunts, moves, and builds his existence in one of the most extreme scenarios on Earth. Your body is a masterpiece of adaptation to extreme cold. The thick layer of fat under the skin works as a powerful thermal insulator, while its dense and seemingly soft white coat hides hollow hairs that retain heat and aid in camouflage. Over the infinite ice, this camouflage is vital. It allows the bear to silently approach its prey without being noticed, increasing the chances of success in an environment where every meal is crucial. The polar bear's main prey is the seal, especially the ringed seals that use ice to breathe and reproduce. The bear spends hours, sometimes days, waiting patiently next to holes in the ice, motionless, saving energy. When the seal emerges to breathe, The attack is quick and precise. This strategy requires not only strength, but absolute control of time and one's own body. In the Arctic, expending energy with no return can mean death. Despite its colossal size, the polar bear is an excellent swimmer. It can travel dozens of kilometers in icy waters, using its front legs as powerful paddles. This ability is essential in an environment where sea ice is constantly moving and increasingly fragmented. However, swimming long distances also poses a great risk, especially for cubs, who depend on constant proximity to their mother. The reproduction of the polar bear is marked by intense maternal care. Pregnant females dig burrows in the snow, where they give birth during the polar winter. The puppies are born extremely vulnerable, blind and almost hairless, totally dependent on the warmth and protection of the mother. In the first months of life, the survival of the offspring is directly linked to the female's ability to find enough food after leaving the burrow. The polar bear occupies the absolute top of Greenland's food chain. Their presence regulates seal populations and influences the entire marine ecosystem. However, this dominant position does not make it invulnerable. The reduction of sea ice, caused by climate change, poses the greatest threat to the species. Without enough ice to hunt, the polar bear is forced to travel longer and longer distances or to spend long periods fasting. In wild Greenland, the polar bear symbolizes the struggle for survival in its purest form. He is strong, patient, and perfectly adapted to an ice world. But it's also a stark reminder that even the most powerful predators depend on a fragile balance. When the ice disappears, even the king of the Arctic is put to the test. The muskox is one of the oldest and hardiest creatures in wild Greenland, a true survivor of the Ice Age. Present in the vast plains of the Arctic tundra, it faces extreme temperatures, biting winds, and long periods of food shortages. While many animals have not resisted climate change over thousands of years, the muskox has remained largely unchanged thanks to extraordinary adaptations. Its robust and imposing appearance hides one of the most efficient coats in the animal kingdom. The muskox has 2 layers of hair, the outer one being long and thick, capable of resisting icy winds, and the inner one composed of one of the hottest hairs in the world, known as kiviut. This combination allows the animal to withstand extremely low temperatures, even when the thermometer plummets to levels that would be fatal to most mammals. Group life is one of the muskox's main survival strategies. In an environment where predators such as wolves and occasionally bears pose constant threats, these animals form defensive circles when they feel threatened. Adult individuals position themselves around, with horns facing outwards, while the young remain protected in the center. This defensive formation is extremely effective and demonstrates how decisive cooperation can be in the Arctic tundra. The muskox's diet is based on low-growing vegetation such as grasses, mosses, and lichens. During the short Arctic summer, it makes the most of the temporary abundance to feed and accumulate reserves. In winter, when the vegetation is covered by snow and ice, the ox uses its strong hooves to dig into the ground and reach the little food available. This ability to find sustenance in extreme conditions is critical to their survival. Despite its generally calm demeanor, the muskox can become extremely aggressive when threatened. Its curved horns and considerable weight make it a dangerous opponent. Coordinated attacks by a group can fend off experienced predators, proving that even in an environment where individual strength is important, collective defense is often the best strategy. The reproduction of the muskox is synchronized with environmental conditions. The chicks are born in the period when the climate begins to become less severe, increasing their chances of survival. Still, the first few months of life are critical, and only the strongest individuals can withstand cold, hunger, and natural threats. The humpback whale is one of the most impressive visitors to the waters of wild Greenland. A giant of the oceans, it travels thousands of kilometers every year on one of the longest migrations in the animal kingdom to take advantage of the abundance of food offered by the cold seas of the Arctic. In an environment where marine life needs to be extremely efficient to survive, the humpback stands out for its strength, intelligence, and highly sophisticated feeding strategies. During the Arctic summer, the waters around Greenland become rich in krill and small fish, creating ideal conditions for humpback whales to feed. It is during this period that they arrive, taking advantage of every opportunity to feed intensely. Their huge body requires a colossal amount of energy, and the short period of abundance needs to be enough to sustain long migrations and months without adequate food in other regions of the planet. One of the most striking characteristics of the humpback whale is its cooperative hunting technique. Using air bubbles, they create veritable underwater nets that trap entire shoals. This behavior requires precise coordination and efficient communication between individuals, demonstrating a high level of social intelligence. Then the whale quickly rises to the surface with its mouth open, swallowing large volumes of water and prey at once. Despite its gigantic size, the humpback whale is known for its astonishing agility. Jumps out of water, flipper hits, and complex movements are part of his behavioral repertoire. These behaviors can have multiple functions, including communication, parasite removal, and demonstrations during the reproductive period. In the midst of the icy waters of Greenland, these movements impress with their combination of strength and elegance. Humpback whale communication is another fascinating aspect. Their long, complex songs can propagate over great distances in the ocean. These sounds play a key role in social interaction and reproduction, especially among males. Each population can present variations in songs, creating true sound signatures that evolve over time. Humpback whale reproduction occurs in warmer waters, far from the Arctic, but its presence in Greenland is essential to the species' life cycle. By feeding intensely in the polar regions, the humpback accumulates fat reserves that ensure its survival during migration and the reproductive period. This cycle between warm and cold waters connects distant ecosystems, showing how deeply interconnected the planet's oceans are. Despite its grandeur, the humpback whale was once on the brink of extinction due to intensive hunting in the past. Today, although populations have partially recovered, new threats emerge, such as collisions with vessels, noise pollution, and climate change that affects food availability. In Greenland, the presence of humpbacks is a sign of still productive seas, but this balance is delicate. The walrus is one of the most iconic figures of wild Greenland, a giant of the icy seas that symbolizes strength, endurance, and adaptation to the Arctic. Inhabiting coastal regions and ice shelves, it spends much of its life alternating between cold water and floating ice, in an environment where stability is never guaranteed. Its presence in Arctic landscapes reveals a species shaped to withstand extreme cold and scarcity. The body of the walrus is massive and protected by a thick layer of fat that acts as thermal insulation, allowing it to withstand extremely low temperatures. Its thick, wrinkled skin offers additional protection from ice and abrasive surfaces. However, its most striking feature is its long ivory tusks, which can reach more than a meter in length. These tusks are not just ornaments, but essential tools for survival. The walrus's tusks are used to move over ice, helping the animal to rise from the water and remain stable on slippery platforms. They also play an important role in social interactions, especially between males, who use them in disputes over territory and access to females. Despite their impressive size, these contests are rarely fatal, functioning more as shows of force than direct confrontations. Walrus food is mainly based on deep-sea organisms, such as mollusks, especially clams and mussels. Using its sensitive whiskers, known as vibrissae, the walrus can detect prey buried in the marine sediment. With precise movements, she sucks the mollusks out of the shells, demonstrating a highly specialized and efficient feeding technique. The walrus's social life is marked by large groupings. On beaches or ice shelves, hundreds of individuals can gather, creating true colonies. This group life offers protection from predators, such as polar bears and orcas, as well as facilitating reproduction. However, crowding also carries risks, especially when the ice becomes unstable, increasing the likelihood of accidents and crushes. Walrus reproduction occurs in well-defined cycles, synchronized with the environmental conditions of the Arctic. Females give birth to young that depend heavily on their mother's milk, which is extremely rich in fat, to survive the intense cold. The bond between mother and calf is strong, and the young remain close for long periods, gradually learning the skills necessary to live in such a challenging environment. Despite its strength and size, the walrus faces increasing threats. The reduction of sea ice directly affects their resting and breeding areas, forcing these animals to concentrate in increasingly limited coastal regions. In addition, pollution and human activity in the oceans pose additional risks to their survival. The snowy owl is one of the most symbolic creatures of wild Greenland, a silent sentinel of the Arctic skies that represents adaptation, precision, and survival in one of the harshest environments on the planet. An inhabitant of the icy tundras and open plains, she lives in a world where extreme cold, scarcity of prey, and homeless vastness pose constant challenges. Its presence in the Arctic reveals a species shaped by the absolute need for efficiency. Unlike most owls, the snowy owl is active during the day, taking advantage of the long luminosity of the Arctic summer to hunt. This adaptation is essential in regions where night can disappear for months. Its white plumage, speckled with dark spots, more common in young males and females, works as a perfect camouflage in the scenery dominated by snow and ice, making it almost invisible to both prey and predators. The snow owl's robust body is protected by a dense layer of feathers that even covers the legs and feet, creating highly efficient thermal insulation. This feature allows it to remain motionless for long periods on frozen ground, saving energy while closely observing any movement in the landscape. In the Arctic, patience is as important a weapon as strength. Your hunt is marked by absolute precision. Small mammals, especially lemmings, form the basis of their diet. Using extremely keen eyesight and refined hearing, the snowy owl can locate prey even under snow. When it attacks, the flight is fast, silent, and decisive. In an environment where error can mean days without food, every attack needs to be perfect. The abundance or scarcity of lemmings directly influences the reproductive success of the species. In favorable years, the snowy owl can lay a high number of eggs, ensuring the continuity of the population. In periods of scarcity, reproduction is reduced or even interrupted, a natural strategy to avoid wasting energy in an unpredictable environment. During the harshest winter, many snowy owls migrate to regions a little farther south, but some remain in Greenland, braving snowstorms, biting winds, and extreme temperatures. This resistance reinforces its role as one of the birds best adapted to the intense cold on the planet. Despite its efficiency as a predator, the snowy owl also faces increasing threats. Climate change directly affects the Arctic tundra, altering the balance of prey populations and reducing areas suitable for breeding. Human interference and habitat degradation make their survival increasingly challenging. In wild Greenland, the snowy owl symbolizes the silent dominance of the icy sky. It is living proof that, in the Arctic, survival is not just a matter of strength, but of extreme adaptation, patience, and absolute precision. Their white flight over the frozen landscape is a constant reminder of the daily struggle for life in a world where only the most prepared endure. Wild Greenland reveals a world where life exists at the absolute limit. Between endless ice fields, frozen seas, and winds that shape the landscape, each species featured in this documentary represents a daily victory against an unforgiving environment. The polar bear, muskox, humpback whale, walrus, and snowy owl are not just Arctic animals, but living symbols of resistance, adaptation, and natural balance in one of the most extreme ecosystems on the planet. Each of these protagonists has developed unique strategies to survive where wrongdoing is not forgiven. On the ice, in the water, or in the Arctic skies, the fight for life happens every day, silent and constant. Greenland shows us that nature offers no shortcuts. Only the most prepared can thrive. Still, this delicate balance faces increasing threats, making the preservation of these environments and species more important than ever. By observing this icy world, we are invited to reflect on the force of nature and our role in protecting these extreme territories. Wild Greenland is not just a distant scenery, but a powerful reminder that life, even in the harshest conditions, finds ways to keep going. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to continue exploring the most extreme places on the planet, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave your like to support our work and comment below where you're watching. Your participation is essential so that we can continue to bring incredible stories of wild nature to you.